Hi, my name is Stephen Rafferty, and you're watching/listening to These Are Questions. This is the interview show where I ask people questions about things, life, and such not. And we are here at Chaos Made Studios here in Sweetwater, Florida, and we are going to be interviewing a very talented actress and professional model. Please welcome Paloma Couto.
Hi, I'm happy to be here.
Welcome to These Are Questions, Paloma.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into the interview show, I need to explain the rules of These Are Questions.
I'm nervous.
Yes, because what better way to start a podcast than with rules? But
Dun, dun, dun.
it's been season 7, and we're gonna keep going with this introduction because it's the 7 seasons in. Paloma, I'm gonna ask you a series of questions that are gonna be based around your career and aspirations, along with a mixture of questions that are borderline idiotic
Okay.
and, well, randomly stupid.
Okay.
Do you accept those terms?
Yes, I accept. Or I do. Do we say I do or I accept?
Well, this is not these are weddings or these are marriages. These are
These
just
are questions.
These
so
are questions.
I accept.
Thank you. Paloma, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Okay, well, that's a sign for me to leave the show. I was not expecting that. No one has ever asked me if I'm ready. It's been 7 seasons. I don't know if I'm ready or not, man. This show has been I don't even know. That's a loaded question, and I'm the one supposed to ask the questions.
Hey, you gotta stay on your toes.
Stay on your toes, man, on these are stays, and the questions are staying here. But I guess to answer your question, I'm better ready than ever, right? This is all I got. So, yes, to answer your question. Internet, are you ready?
I'm assuming that's a yes.
Oh, I mean, I've been asking that same question for 7 seasons straight, and I haven't got a response,
Cool.
so
We're gonna take that.
as a yes.
There you go.
There we go. With that in mind, let's begin our These Are Questions interview. So, thank you so much for being a part of this show. I really appreciate it. We were joking a little bit before we started recording, saying that you were coming in clutch for me, not just for this episode, These Are Questions, but also for the Art of Communication workshop, which, for those who do not know, we did an Art of Communication photography workshop at Collab Studios in Miami. But we're going to briefly talk about it, but we're here in Chaos Made Studios, so I want to give the plug for them specifically. But you've come in clutch for me on multiple projects, and, I've got a chance to professionally work with you, and I really enjoy our working professional relationship. And, I would love to learn more about your origins in deciding to pursue the kind of wackiness world of both acting and modeling. And I would love for you to tell our viewers watching/listening to our show how you got to where you are today.
That's actually a very interesting, funny, loaded question, I guess you could say.
And these are questions.
So this is something that I will start with. My first language is not English.
Okay.
So I grew up speaking French and Portuguese. So English was my last language. I learned Spanish before I learned English. English was very much not a forte. So, fun fact, I went to a elementary private school and it was French, just a little bit of English. And they had programs after school, so I did theater. And my best friend's mom was a teacher. And I was like, I'm just doing this because, my mom's making me go. I don't want to do this. Yeah, I was wrong. I ended up loving doing it. It was amazing. So I loved it so much that, so there was an assignment in 5th grade. A teacher of ours was like, listen, for this paper, we're just going to write what you guys want to be when you grow up and why. It was just a fun activity, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I had a broken elbow at that point, so somebody wrote for me.
Okay.
And so I wrote. I will never forget this because it gets better. It was printed. They copied it, scanned it, put it on the yearbook for our 5th grade yearbook.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that. I wish I knew that.
I wish you knew that too.
Yeah. So I wrote. Please hold on for this. I want to be a teacher because I love kids and I love teaching.
Okay.
I want to be a veterinarian because I love animals.
Okay.
And last but not least, I want to be an actress because when I lie to my mom, she thinks I'm telling the truth.
Oh.
I'm sorry, Mom. I love you. I don't mean it.
Shout out to Paloma's mom.
Love you, Sarah. No, so what's even worse is that I got my yearbook later, because I guess I didn't go that day to school, or I don't know what happened, but I didn't get mine the same time as everybody else. So everyone called my mom, and they're like, oh my gosh, your daughter's so funny. She's so cute. Did you see what she wrote in the yearbook? And she's like, what do you mean? And so my brothers came home with my yearbook.
Yeah.
And they're like, where's your yearbook? I'm like, I don't know. I didn't go today. They're like, oh, yeah, that's right. Your brothers grabbed it. She goes to grab it. She reads it. She goes, what did you write? I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know I wrote. Sorry. So yeah, fun fact, always make sure that your teachers let you know where they're posting your projects, you know? But that's how I started. I did theater, and I grew up in French theater, so it was like kind of Shakespeare, but the French version.
Okay.
So it was Moliere. I studied Moliere growing up. Awesome, loved it. Did theater all of middle school. And then in 7th grade, I actually got a casting for a voice dubbing show, and my best friend's mom was the one that worked at this place. She's basically kind of who inspired me and helped me like find my love for acting. So shout out to you, Natalie. Love you.
Shout out.
So she helped me like find, I guess, like my voice, and like what I kind of loved about theater was I could be like extra and funny. In Moliere, I was always the super extra character. And then she got me to audition and cast for this voice dubbing show, and it was originally Brazilian. It was actually Victoria's one who told me this. A huge show in Brazil, a huge telenovela. It was called O Clone, and they translated it to French called Le Clone, but they needed one of those characters, Samira, to have a French voice. I auditioned, and I ended up getting the role of Samira. So I was Samira's voice for, I think it was like the last season. I have not been able to find those episodes or see them, because I would love to hear what my voice sounds like, because it's a baby voice. It's a baby Paloma French voice. It's adorable. But that was kind of what got me like even more sparked. I was like, wow, I really do love doing this. I want to keep going. So I kept doing it, and then I went to Palmetto Senior High. The drama program there was amazing. Kind of got bullied there, so left, transferred, went to Westminster.
Oh, no.
We can leave that in. I don't mind that.
Okay.
But I'm going to say that again so we don't have that little bleep.
You're good. You're good. We could just, I was just going to say, like, it just built you to be a stronger person, right?
Yeah.
Indirectly.
So basically, I went to Palmetto, great drama program there, got bullied, transferred to Westminster, and then that program was amazing, and I did a lot of theater. It was all theater, but I knew I wanted to be on camera. I've always loved film. I've always wanted to be on Disney. I always wanted to be a part of the experience. So I decided to study acting in college. I got accepted for the BFA program at FAU, which was awesome, but I realized the BFA theater program is, again, theater.
Yeah.
I don't want to do theater anymore. So I had to, it was really hard because I didn't know what to do, and I didn't live at home. So I decided to switch majors, and I did a major in multimedia studies that had some film sequences. So I got very lucky because I still got to take some acting classes. And my last year, I got a great teacher. I think I forgot his name. I believe it was Stephen Kerr. I forgot. I got to double check and get my facts straight on that. He was a great teacher. He taught us high yield concept in Hollywood. So basically, you taught how to pitch a film in the Hollywood scene. So he would basically, like, every class was kind of like the same, but he would teach us how do you pitch a nice value storyline for like a show or a movie. And it's like, you need to have everything done, I think, before you get the pitch. Or you have to have the pitch done and have like the pages ready to go. Like he basically gave us this whole like in-depth study. And then I think I was confusing the name of the class. Regardless, that's a detail. My other teacher taught me how to do video editing, camera editing, and I just ended up falling in love with the process of the creative space. Because my brain is always all over the place, and I always love creating, taking pictures, blending colors, doing things to like make things, I don't know, like I love sparking colors together. So I always thought, you know what, maybe acting is the way to go, because you get to spark so much creativity within your characters, within, as a model, within your looks, like whatever you do in the industry, it's always in the creative space, and I feel like that gets like the brain juices flowing.
Yeah. And
it also helps people like come together. Like I feel acting, like it's not just about the actor and like the camera. I think it's also about the space that you're in. Like I'm an actress, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for like other talents and other like resources that are out in the world. Like I've learned from my mistakes, I've learned from rejections, I've learned from honestly missing castings or like lost opportunities because of travel or because of like personal like beliefs and values. Like sometimes you have to say no to things. Like as an actress, you have to do all of those things, and having learned that in college and in the experiences that I was given really made me think, wow, I really want to do this. Like I almost got into the New World School of the Arts. I was the next one on the waiting list. Like,
wow.
I knew that I was meant to be in the field. I just never fully dove into it until, like, I was like, you know what? Stop listening to the no's and the rejections. Like, start listening to you and put yourself out there. So that's kind of what got me into my whole creative space. The starting it in school and just taking it outside of school.
Well, thank you for providing the whole kind of background story.
It's like a nice little...
To here we are now, right? To this present moment. It's very cool to see your growth and development there. And it's funny, you know, how we indirectly met. You mentioned her. You mentioned Victoria. Shout out to her as well. We met indirectly, not so much on the acting side, but more on the modeling, fashion side with some photography work. As you know, I also work as a professional photographer. Fun fact. And it was just very cool on there, and that's how we met. But I noticed when I met the two of you, I saw that not just from the modeling sense you took it very seriously, but also from the way your professional demeanor was and who you are character-wise. And now that I get to kind of hear your backstory a bit more, I see where a lot of connecting pieces got together to see who you are as an amazing, talented individual. So, and, you know, you mentioned some of the highs and the lows. But just know that even with the highs and the lows, you know, the lows make you stronger to get the better high when you do get the yes, when you do get the big project, when you do have the collaboration that you want to work with. You have to go for a lot of no's in order to get to the yes. And those no's do make you stronger and make you more laser focus of what you really need to. And a lot of those no's that you did get were redirecting you to what you need to have.
Oh, yeah, 110%. And I think a lot of people sometimes forget that every no gets you closer to your yes. Like, a lot of people are like, that's so silly, that's so corny. Like, do you actually believe in that? Yeah, I do. Because I honestly, if I really had given up on everything, like, I wouldn't be here. Like, I wouldn't continuously be putting myself out there. Like, sometimes people think, oh, but you're too old, da, da, da. No. I think that's actually the best, that's, I think, my favorite part of being a creator or being in the creative space. You are never, ever too old to be in it or to start.
Yeah.
You can always learn. It's just about discipline and what you want to do.
Yep.
Like, I don't like it when people are like, oh, I can't make it, I can't do it. Yes, you can. You just don't want to put yourself through that. Because sometimes I know, because I have been the one saying, oh, I can't do that. I used to say that all the time. Because I was like, oh, I don't want to, like, put in all the hours. I don't want to drive. I hate driving. Now I do it all the time. It's a part of life. That's how I am as an actress. I got to get on the go.
Yep.
Got to get it done.
If you want to get the job, you got to drive to it a lot of times.
Exactly. Today.
Even today, you know, it's about...
We live far.
Yeah, we both live far. Like, this studio is very cool, but it's in, like, completely in this unique location. So, like, to get down there, it took me over an hour for me, which, not complaining, it's just the nature of the beast. But if you want to...
40 minutes.
That's good for you. I didn't have that.
It was just because there was no traffic today, guys. That's it.
That's true, too. If it was traffic, we would be still on the road right now. We would be doing this episode via, like, Zoom on our cars.
On a car, which probably isn't safe. So probably, you know, have you seen that episode from Victorious and they're on the plane and they do that episode, like, on the plane?
Oh, yeah.
It'd be us, but, like, you'd have, like, the camera, like, on the dash. Like, hello. How you doing?
How you doing? As I'm swerving around on 95, you know, and just
I think that's something that's very important. You kind of have to just change your perspective. I think perspective is very important when you're a creator. And
we're going to take that into a segue because you mentioned about the kind of the mindset of being a creator, and I want to get more into and kind of pick your brain in this chaos made studio, pun intended. I want to get into the mindset for you about how you like prep for like an audition, right? And like how are you prepping for when you're getting booked for a project? You know, who and what are some of your biggest contributors to your acting and even your modeling progression as you're prepping and getting prepared for a project or a shoot, from like the early audition to actually getting the job?
So the prepping, well, for acting, it's honestly transitioned. It's like changed throughout the years because I used to be very new.
Okay.
So I never had an issue with learning lines. I'm very good at learning my lines. You tell me what to learn, I'll get it done, and I'll perform for you.
That's good.
But sometimes you get the lines super last minute. I'm very good at getting them last minute, acting on the spot. Like improv, I can get that done. Nowadays, everything is obviously film and camera. I grew up with theater. Now, why do I say that? Theater was always big, expressive, you use your full body, and in theater, I'm sorry, you get no second takes.
Yeah.
It's one and done.
One and done. You have to be animated.
Yes.
Animated.
Like your whole body talks, basically. Like, it's just like, I can't even do that
We can, but
But,
but even as I'm moving, it's funny you mention that, because even as you're moving, like, as you know, doing a lot of film work, you can't be all over the place animation, because it's just going to look crazy.
it looks off.
You have to be subtle with your movements.
Very, and it also has to like make sense with what you're doing as a character and your purpose in the story. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Like, what?
Right.
Why are you moving your hand that way? Why are you lifting it up? Why is your finger like?
I'm just asking questions.
No, not you. I'm saying like, you know what I meant.
Yes.
Like in retrospect, like I think it's all very like detailed and it's so to the T. So back then, I like a couple years ago, all I would do is just like I'd be like, oh, I'm casting for this. Okay, jeans and a top, cool. I'll get there. Like I was very like they would always tell me just wear something that looks like this employee or this and that. So I was like, okay. Like my prep would just be like practice like the lines or the tongue twisters like red leather, yellow leather, lavender leather, red leather, yellow leather, lavender leather, red. I'm not gonna do that right now. Then there's another one that's like toy boat, and it's like toy boat, toy boat.
Oh,
toy boat,
I know that one too.
Or Unique New York.
Unique New York, yeah.
We're not gonna get into them. But I started. And that's something that I started transitioning to because I started taking improv classes at Universal Casting. They're amazing. Love them. Shout out to Chris. That is one of my Chris and Carlos. The whole Universal Casting. They're a big supporter people in my acting journey. Also, Chaos Made Studios. They're not here right now. Miss you guys.
They're here in the episode. We're filming in their studio.
They're, like the atmosphere is here, but people are not here. So they've been big supporters. Family, friends, my faith, like my boyfriend. All of those people have helped me, like kind of, I guess, see that this is for me, and like I want to keep doing it because there's times where I haven't, like I would feel like, oh, what am I doing? Like, why am I continuously putting myself out there and doing all of this? So then my teacher, Chris, would teach me new tricks to like be like a better actress. Because you can never like not learn. Like, I feel like you can always learn. And I feel like you're never going to stop learning.
Yeah.
Like in the industry, you're always going to learn something new, whether it be with camera, film, audio, lighting, whatever it is, you learn so much. Like now I know that I have to diffuse my ring light. So it doesn't look like the ring light is like in my eye. So sometimes what I do is I put a pillowcase over it, so it doesn't look like it's a circle. It just looks like a blend of light coming towards me.
Yeah.
So it works. It makes sense. Hey, now I self-tip at home, so you do what you got to do. That is also a big thing that I've learned for setups, prepping. Have materials. It sounds silly. I know ring lights, like we don't like it all that much because we don't like the ring light in the eyes, but nowadays with auditions, taping, you have to have some type of lights, whether it be a square, a ring light, anything to make you look better. Because if the lighting is off and you look off, they're going to skip that audition.
Yep, go
so
very
that's
quickly.
One big thing, like you need, like preparation, you have to have equipment for that. Audio, yes, it's important if you have mics. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. Try to make sure that you have little to no sound in the background. But when it comes for actual like in-person castings and auditions, I started with doing tongue twisters in the car, and then nowadays, because I do want to do film, commercial is amazing, but commercial is more fun. What I do to prep for commercial, I would just look at the commercials that company's done before, kind of get the vibe and the color scheme of what they usually go for in their videos, and kind of match that aesthetic. So sometimes, like let's say I've never done one for them, so like this is perfect example, Sprite. This could be definitely an outfit I'd wear for a Sprite commercial.
Yeah, it's good color contrast.
Because it's a color contrast, but this color could also match one of their colors. Like it's not the exact green of their Sprite, but it could be an off marketing brand one, or it could be one that could be like they sometimes have different like shades of their things, and they do like different marketing things for times of the months, so you never know. So that's what I do for commercials. For film now, I started doing this and it helped me tremendously. It's a lot of work, but hey, like I want to do this. This is my career. Like I'm going to put in that work. So recently, perfect example, I got an audition for, I self-submitted on Actors Access. Definitely do that. You guys, I recommend auditioning and self-submitting. So I did that, got an audition, super excited, and they even gave me the script that went with the audition. It was my first somewhat film audition. And I've always learned you have to read the script first. You read the script and you read your lines. Why would you read the script? You're not going to be every character. Well, how are you going to know what the context is and who your character is if you have no idea what the story is?
That's a lot of actors get faulted that because they just focus on their lines. But if you need to research the material and understand, so you can understand your character motivation and like your beats and understanding why you're going to do what you're going to do for each scene within your character. And it doesn't matter how big the role is. It could be just a one line. You should know if you know the episode, know the film, know the story, know the play, whatever the case may be that you're being being a part of, you need to do your research.
Exactly. And what you were saying, like, even if it's just one line.
Yeah.
Even more so, if it is that one line, don't you want people to remember you? Don't you want to be that character that be like, oh, I saw, do you remember that guy in the middle of, like, you want to be that person.
Yeah.
Like, you want to be the weirdo to stand out and be like, did you see that? That was hilarious. And you laugh. So when I prep for it, I read the script. Yes, like, for example, that script that I read was like 100 pages. And I ended up falling in love with the script. And I was like, oh, this is fun. This is interesting. And it was just, you see it come to life. And then to learn my lines, it's hard to do it by yourself sometimes. So I reread it over and over. Or this is how I used to learn back in school. And this is old school. I don't care. I still do it. I take a piece of paper and I rewrite my lines.
Yeah.
And I say it out loud as I do it. So, like, I read and write, say it out loud, and then sometimes I act it out while I'm writing. Like, and you mark the beats as you go, or you emphasize the words that you know you're going to emphasize. And then obviously, if, like, I get far enough to the point where I get booked for that said role, that's when I get together with the director and I ask them, hey, like, what did you have in mind for my character when you wrote them? Like, and why did you choose me as the actress for it? Because sometimes you get chosen, but it's not even for the reason that you think it is. It's maybe the looks, maybe you have this one thing about you that it's like you're connecting to her. Like, you need to be this character because there's an essence about you. So I just talked to the director, touched base with him. So I recently filmed a short film called Don't. I cannot wait for it to come out. It was done by Four Horsemen Studio Films. Andre Gordon, my teacher, filmed it, and people actually from Chaos Made Studios. I love my team.
There you go.
They helped out on crew. Amazing time, and we actually filmed it in less than 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
So it was a 2-day shoot.
Question: was this part of like the 24-hour film festival, or this was his own? Did you just run and gun in 24 hours?
We just did it in 24 hours. Like, we were impressed by it ourselves.
Okay, impressive.
I auditioned for it, and I, believe it or not, my audition, I did it 3 times. He asked me to do 3 tapes, and I'm so glad that he did, because now I can go back and look at those 3 tapes and be like, wow.
Yeah.
The first one, I'm so sorry, Lums, but it was horrendous. It was awful. Lovey girly, did not do good on that one. But you learn from your mistakes. That's a big thing. Rewatch. I hate doing it, but rewatch your tapes. Rewatch your work. Yep. Because as embarrassing as it is for you, do you want other people to see that bad? No. So take it again. So that's, like, I guess all of that goes into your little question. That would be, like, my biggest advices and, like, trips and preparations to, like, when I get ready for casting. I do all of those things, because if not,
I like that just a little.
Yeah. I don't. If you don't prepare, people will remember.
It's gonna go under the.
Yeah. The thing is, if you don't prepare, like, I don't want to say that you're screwing yourself over. I don't know if that's, like, a bad word.
No, you're fine.
But, like, I feel like if you don't prepare or you don't know what you're getting yourself into, like, you're asking to fail. Like, you're asking to not be considered or not be given the time of day or value, because if you're not going to give them the time of day and them the respect to research it, because they're fully into this project, they're invested, this is their job. They're doing everything that they can to find a character to fit that missing piece. And if you want to be that missing piece, you have to give in your work as well. You can't, I'm not going to say that word because it's a bad word. You can't half poop it.
Okay. You can't fumble the bag.
Exactly. You can't fumble the bag. If you're given that opportunity, it's for a reason. They saw something in you, use it. Don't, I'm good. I don't need to know the lines. I'm good. Like, some people go in, don't know their lines, and then they expect to be, like, getting it, and then they get upset when they don't. And I'm like,
no.
That's not how that works.
No, unfortunately.
I guess that whole spiel, what answer your little thing. I go off tangents sometimes, man. I'm a certified yapper. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
These are yapping, you know what I mean? I'm just kidding. These are tangents. These are, I don't know what this is anymore.
These are questions.
These are questions? Okay. Thank you for your insight, though. I appreciate you going more in depth. And I asked that question. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit more, and you provided your brain, showcased your brain on these are questions. Right, my brain is just so circuiting right now. But that's awesome there. And, you know, I'm going to jump into some of more of a random question here. I'm going to keep it more on the PG side to respect this conversation, right? Okay. So I'm going to change the wording of it. So you may have heard the phrase of it, but it's kind of in similar vein. I have a little game. It's called visit, live, or ban. Okay?
Okay.
So you're going to pick one to visit, one to live, one to ban.
Okay.
Okay? So here's the choices. Say on here. One little list here.
I'm a little nervous.
Don't be nervous. These are nervousnesses. These are questions. Okay. Ireland, Switzerland, Japan. Visit, live, or ban.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna ban Ireland.
And my last name is Rafferty, and you're banning me? Oh my god.
Sorry. The only reason I'm doing that is Switzerland. I would live there. I love Switzerland. I'm French. That's like my family's close to them. And Japan, I do want to visit Ireland, even though I have to ban you, I'm sorry. The thing with Japan, I don't know what it is. My brother really loves that culture. I love that culture. Like, just, there's something about Japan. I just have always wanted to visit. I know that traveling there must be, like, really difficult.
Sure.
But, like, I really want to see a cherry blossom tree. Like, I really want to see one in Japan, like, in full bloom. That'd be beautiful.
Whoa, you're manifesting it here on These Are Questions.
Or I want to wear the, I think it's a kimono.
Yes.
I would love to wear a kimono.
You can. You never know.
Modeling for a kimono brand. Putting it out there one day. Hey guys, anybody from Japan want to book me for a kimono modeling shoot session? Please call me. Meet me if you want to reach me. And he could be the photographer.
Yes.
Okay, there we go.
There you go.
I guess that could be the answer to your friend question.
There you go.
Sorry, Ireland. Love you.
It's okay. It's okay. No worries. No worries. I'm just gonna crash it.
He's like, yeah.
It's fine. Don't worry. No worry. Let me ask you this question. Why does Garfield hate Mondays?
I hate Mondays too.
Why do you hate Mondays?
Because that's when the week starts and it's like, nah. Because Mondays, it's like, that's when you know your week is starting. And like, the thing is, sometimes I love Mondays and sometimes I hate Mondays.
Okay.
Like, if I know, like this week, I'm so excited for Monday. It's going to be a rough week, but I don't care. I'm so excited. I have things going on. So when it comes to that, I'm like, I want it to be Monday. I want to start my week. When you know you have nothing planned during the week and you're going to be alone at home, sitting in bed, watching TV, you don't want it to be Monday. You don't want to be by yourself and be in a loner mood. So you're kind of just like, Monday.
It's a day on the Mon. But now I have to redirect. Specifically, why does Garfield hate Mondays?
I don't know why Garfield hates Mondays.
Oh, that's a loaded question.
That's the thing. I was trying to put myself in Garfield's shoes, but it's not working. Because I don't know. Why would he hate Mondays? Do you know?
That's why I'm asking the question. I don't know.
Oh, so you don't know?
I don't know either. I thought maybe you would know.
Yeah.
Someone has to know. Anybody? No? Viewers? Listeners?
Is there a Garfield out there?
Is there a Garfield out there? That's another loaded question. Is there a Garfield?
Have they made a live action of Garfield yet?
Yeah, with CGI and stuff. Yeah.
I feel
like an actual cat.
I feel like they've done Garfield as a real cat. They've done that.
Have they done it?
They have. I'm thinking
Hold
about
on,
it right now.
I'm googling this. Hold on.
They have because the actress from Ghost Whisperer is in it. No, they have.
Okay. What I'll do is that when I edit this at 2:00 in the morning, as I'm getting ready to do it, season 7. Those who know, they know. I will do a Google search, and if I can find did you find it?
I think so.
Okay.
Where did she go?
Would you tell me? Maybe we'll get this answer right here on These Are Questions. I don't know.
Garfield. It was. I know that they did it because it was what's his face.
Yes, what's his face? Very popular actor in the Garfield movies.
She was in Ghost Whisperer. I'll find her. I promise.
Okay.
What's the next question? Tell that my brain is all over the place today.
You know what you need oh wait, did you find it?
So she is in this movie, but I'm gonna find the movie in here.
Okay.
See? Yes!
Oh, so there is it's in Simply Garfield the movie, obviously. There was a real action.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was in. Oh my gosh! They filmed it. They released it June 11, 2004. June 11th is my anniversary date.
Hey, shout out to your anniversary.
I was meant to look at that today.
You were meant to look at that
I keep doing this today. I don't know what's up with that.
You gotta do it on the camera because it just...
Peace and love. Or wait, this is just love.
Yes.
Okay, back to focus.
You know what you need, Paloma? I need to ask you this question. Do you know how to make an energy drink?
No, but I am the energy drink.
That is a lot of energy.
See? That's all you need. He's like, I need to go home. She's too much right now.
No, I did not say that. I did not say that on camera.
Kidding,
I didn't say nothing on camera there. I
said on camera.
I did right. As I'm driving out, driving home. I got text back. That was a great interview.
I don't know how to make an energy drink. I've heard like.
Well, with energy, obviously.
No,
but that's a nice table to do that.
I feel like we're gonna get distracted by playing drums now.
This is gonna be the intro to the episode. Hey.
I love how we both did the same thing. That was perfect.
It was succinct, Hey. So let me ask, would you want a can of optimism or a jar of wonderment?
A jar, huh?
Wonderment.
What was the other one?
Can of optimism.
I need to... Excuse me. Can of optimism.
Okay.
Because sometimes, you'll be in depressing moods when things don't work out. So you kind of need that.
So you go into an accent too when you're in the moods?
All the time. I go into accents. This is gonna, you're gonna hear it come out randomly. I just, what? Super randomly.
I could see that animation.
Exactly.
Got it. Believe it. It's a scene. It's the actor in you.
It is very, very accurate.
Yes.
I believe in that.
Too accurate.
I don't know.
Not enough accuracy. Exactly. Okay. Let's go back to... These were fun, but let's go back to some just kind of...
Let's really back in.
It's okay. We're doing good. It's all good. These are questions. We talked a lot about the acting side, and I got to pick your brain a lot more on that. Mm-hmm. I want to talk briefly about the modeling side a little bit, and specifically the comparison between the two. What's the biggest similarity between the Queen? Are you the Queen?
How'd you know?
Oh, I didn't know on there. You're the Queen? I'll be damned. Your boy can do accents too. Can do little voices there too. Yeah. Tell me a character to do. I may be able to do it.
I don't know what character to think of right now. I'm trying to think of one and I can't.
I don't know.
Garfield.
I can't do Garfield. Garfield's like the goat. Just be like Mondays and stuff. Like lasagna. That's my impersonation of lasagna.
What was that?
I
can't do it.
Dion.
No.
Celine Dion.
I was gonna start singing my heart will go on.
You should know I do a Garfield accent. I don't know the voice I can think of right now to do that. Well, as appropriate is probably Bugs Bunny. What's up, Doc? It's like, what's up, Celine? Celine Dion, if you want to be on the show.
Call me. Beat me if you want to reach me.
Kim Possible.
I've been saying that.
Could be. I'll be the Ron Stoppable to the Kim Possible, and in the Disney Rufus. We need a Rufus here. Do we? Okay. Yes. I don't. Where my question is? Oh yeah.
I think we were talking about the
similarities.
Modeling.
The model. The modeling. Le modeling.
Oh, so just similarities.
Yeah. So similarities between So my question is, what is the similarity between acting and modeling? What's the biggest similarity? And then what's the biggest contrast between the two?
I think the similarity would be, I guess, the auditioning process, I guess you could say.
Okay.
You have to have, a profile that's, up to date, or a comp card that's up to date, in the modeling sense. Or, similarities, I guess you could say, you have to be comfortable. I think that's a similarity for both of those career fields. You have to be very comfortable. If you're not comfortable, I don't see how you could put yourself in those shoes. Because, as a model, sometimes you have to do things. Obviously, they ask you beforehand, and they clear it with you beforehand. And if you say yes within those realms, if you're doing something and you're not comfortable doing it, you can see it on camera.
Yep.
You can the body speaks way more volumes than your actual mouth does, believe it or not. Like, you can tell if somebody's, like, not wanting to be there. You can tell if the presence is, like,
you feel it.
Like, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And it's, like, you can feel, like, literally you can feel it. Like, there's no other words to say. I was trying to think of another way to say it. There's no other way to say it. You can feel it. So being comfortable, I think that's a big thing to have. Like, that's same with acting. Sometimes there's really intense scenes that sometimes even pertain to you. Are the people going to know? No. But you yourself know, but you have to be comfortable enough to be vulnerable, let it go in the moment, and then hone yourself back in. And then if there is a time and a place that you have to, like, talk to somebody about it, you can.
Yep.
Like, I think within acting and modeling, what's very similar is that if you're lucky and blessed enough, you have, like, an agency or casting directors or people that you have some type of close relationship to, whether or not they're your direct agent or your direct, like, I'm close with, like, casting directors or, like, friends with them, or casting agents, I guess you could call them.
Yeah.
But there's also, like, a thin line between there's a boundary and a line that you don't cross with those relationships. Like, I'm friends with them, but I also don't go out of my way to, like, go out and have fun with them and go out and call them for coffee and drinks, because it's like,
it's a relationship, but it's a professional relationship. Yep.
Whilst your agent, that's a little bit different, because your agent has more to do with you.
Yes.
And then there's, like, the actual teacher.
Yep.
That teacher, depending on who the teacher is, can be either super close with you and would love that relationship, or it can just be that type of teacher that's like, I'm just guiding you guys, I don't want to be close with anyone. So within acting and modeling, I feel like you have all of those people. Like, you have the same, like, in acting and in modeling, there's casting agents, casting directors. There's agents and managers in both realms of the field. And there's classes in both realms of the field. So I think it's very similar in, like, the prepping, I guess, can be similar as in, like, you get a teacher or you talk to an agent or you talk to a casting director. Like, those parts of it are very similar. Now, what's very not similar or what's different, I guess, is, like, the actual, when I was saying the process, I mean, like, the actual, like, auditioning things. Like, I think, for example, for modeling, it's a lot harder and it's weirder sometimes, because if you're not signed with an agent, for example, and you do open calls, it's very, very disorganized sometimes, and it can be messy, which is nobody's fault. It just,
the nature of the beast.
It's always going to be unorganized, because there's no, like, way of things being done, because there's no agent helping navigate what time to get you there, what time are you being seen, who is seeing you. Like, when you have an agent, that makes your life 10 times much easier, for example. And I think that's the difference between, like, modeling and acting. So for modeling, depending on if you've been signed or not, sometimes if they send you to places and it's an open call, that means you're not guaranteed to be seen. That just means you're going to an open call and you're in line waiting.
Yep. Sometimes
they request you. And if you are requested, that sometimes might be a private casting. When it comes to acting, it's not very well known for there to be private castings or open castings. Like, for acting, it's not open castings. Usually, more so, 99% of the time, an agent or a director or casting director, somebody reached out to you for the casting. It's not, hey, I found it on this. Obviously, casting networks, Actors Access, Backstage.
Sure.
You can find it there.
Yeah.
But
even then, there's a channel. There's a channel. Even if you use, like, Backstage or Actors Access,
it's not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. But even then, the chain of communications that either a casting director or a major individual in that production will reach out to the appropriate parties as needed there. So it's not just like a complete, oh, I'm just going to show up and just do things. You know what I mean? There's some balance there with using those networks. Exactly. But obviously, from the acting side and the traditional media side, you're going through some sort of agent or some sort of casting director there that's already been pre-planned and already from the get-go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sometimes it gets a little difficult, because as a model, like, most of the calls, majority, the ones that I've heard of or I've, like, been blessed to be a part of, have been open calls. So those can be disorganized, messy. And I used to intern for a swim fashion brand, Swim and G. Shout out to them. Hey. Love you, Gabby. She was my first internship in the fashion field, and that's kind of what got me to love modeling so much, because they not accidentally, I was wearing, like, a black romper, kind of like similar to this, just, like, with a strap. And I don't know if you've heard of the brand Sammy. Love that swimming brand. Clark, that is a shout out for you. But Sammy was a swim line brand. They walked the Paraíso tent show, I think it was a year or two ago.
Nice.
And I was just backstage helping the models get ready, but I wasn't helping anybody else. I was just helping the swim and G models, prepping them, getting like their water, food, whatever they needed. Because of course I was an intern helping out, and I loved being backstage. Mm-hmm. I was wearing all black because I was like, I don't want anything to be mistaken, and I had like my pass. For some reason, I had lost my pass and have it. And this young lady comes up to me. She goes, "What are you doing? You're going to be late." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "You have to go." I'm like, "What?" She goes, "You're next on the runway." I'm like,
"Wait, what?"
I was like, I'm not a model. She goes, "I'm so sorry. I mistook you for one of the..."
Oh, you should have took it.
I should have.
I was like...
I should have. If that ever happens to you, say yes and just go with it.
I was going to say... But
out of respect, I was like, no, that's not me. Like, and the thing is, the guy, that wasn't his brand, and I wasn't gonna walk. Like, it was like a practice, like a run through.
Okay.
So it wasn't the actual like walk time. But they were like, "I'm so sorry. Like, we confused you for one of the models because you're wearing something that looks like the brand, and you're gorgeous." I was like, "Thank you."
You don't say.
No, sorry. Mm. So that happened, like, that was in, like, the beginning. And then, like, we were running around. And then, again, like, this is, like, when they start, like, lining up the models to go. And they're like, "Okay, brand Sammy." And then they see me. They grab me again. They're like, "Aren't you supposed to be in line?" I'm like, no, this is mine. This is a romper. This is from Amazon. It's not a swimsuit. So they were like, "Oh, damn, sorry." And I was like, it's okay. And then I, like, went up to Gabby. And I was like, "They mistook me for a model like 2 or 3 times. Is this like a sign that I should do it?" She was like, yeah. Yes. So ever since then, I was like, oh my gosh, yay. So I'm trying to like submit myself and put myself out there as a model because it's not easy. I'm a 5'5" petite girl. I think I'm 5'5". Some people think I'm 5'6". I might lean into the 5'6" because that makes me taller.
Yes. And that's without the heels or anything like that too.
Yeah, exactly.
So
without the heels. So it's like, I think no matter what, I think acting and modeling is always going to be, it's like they're connected, but they're also separated.
Yeah.
Like, it depends what you make of it. Like, I liked connecting them because I think, like, modeling and acting kind of go hand in hand, as in, like, if you're trying to model for a brand, sometimes you have to have your own creative direction and make your own shoot and, like, make your own little video for them. How are you going to do that? You have to film it, create it, write it out, and have a plan. That has a lot to do with acting, so I think that's why they're connected, but I think they're also disconnected, as in, like, modeling. I'm not saying you don't have as close relationships and you don't get as close. It depends if it's, like, for a campaign and it's ongoing and you're with the same people more over time. But I think, for example, when you model, you get super close to, like, for example, the people on set that day, but you're not prone to working with them 24/7, and it's not the same people. I think a lot of the times in the film world, or it's happened to me more often, and it's been amazing, and I love it, I've been on sets more than once where I recognize the team and I recognize the crew and the people. And it's crazy because this world is so small, but people don't realize it, and they remember you.
Yep.
And I think that's the difference. I haven't been too much in the modeling world, so I can't speak 100% for that, and I don't want to say anything that's wrong. But in the times that I've been on sets for, like, modeling and film, this is based on personal experience, I've been, like, lucky and blessed enough to have people, like, remember my name, like, on, like, sets, even if I'm an extra. Like, they consider me and, like, respect me and talk to me as if I were on principal talent, which I'm not. Or not on principal talent, on camera principal talent. Mm-hmm. Same word, same thing. But, so I think it depends with the people. Like, when it comes to modeling, sometimes they're very, like, I've been very blessed to go on a set, and they've been very, like, inclusive and very nice. But like I told you at the Save the Creatives, there was also a situation where I'm not going to go into details of the story, but a certain photographer made me feel super uncomfortable in a situation where when we first met and talked in that event set, like, situation, nothing was wrong, everything was great. But when that conversation was taken offline, things didn't go out the way planned, sure, and things were deleted or unsent. And I'm like, it happens. It is what it is. I've forgiven that person. I haven't talked to that person in, like, 5 ever. But it's like, with all of those things said, like, sometimes you have to, like, keep those things, like, to yourself and kind of, like, push through, because sometimes it's not about not keeping to yourself. That's the wrong word. That's the wrong terminology. I think sometimes you have to be very careful and aware of your certain situations. So within modeling, I think every set is different. And I think what happens is you yourself have to be aware of who you're working with, right, what you're saying, who you're talking to, what you're saying. So I think I would just went off on a huge tangent, but
No,
all
you're
back to
good.
say that I think depending on what set you're on, what modeling or acting job you're a part of, it's always going to be the same or different depending on what you make it. That's kind of where I was trying to like segue back into. Like I got off on the tangent to try to go back into the fact that it all depends on how you perceive it and how you like walk through with it. So as an actress, like I think that they're connected because I want them to be connected. But some people don't want them to be connected, so that's why their opinions and their answer could be completely different. This is just how I guess I would see it and I would perceive it. Modeling, I'm still learning that world. I'm still getting access to it. So that's why for modeling, I can't give for certain like 100% knowledge and facts of like, oh, sets are like this, people are like this. Because I haven't had bad experiences. I just had one bad experience where a certain person decided to mistreat me or say certain things in a way that paint me in a bad light because they decided to do that. And it's like, I know that that wasn't my fault, but it just sucks because I would have loved to continue a collaboration with that person and I would have loved to do work with them, but they kind of ruined that in the sense of they made me look like a bad person even though I didn't do anything wrong. So it just, again, depends on you, the situation, the perspective, and I think you yourself have to like just know what you're doing, kind of like trust yourself, but also don't be afraid to like get out of a certain place if you feel uncomfortable, because I feel like a lot of people are scared to do that nowadays. Because a lot of people just want to stay to like be like, I want to make it. I'll just stay here.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way. Like, if you are going to, especially in this realm, if you, let's say you want to go into the arts and go into entertainment, go into media, there's a level of where you have to put yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
And you have to do it quite constantly. The gigs and the jobs and the what you feel is what you want from that industry is not going to come to you. You have to go to them and then learn from it to apply it for your own craft, and then consistently working and establishing relationships in a professional sense to get those works, because at the end of the day, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Simple as that. I didn't create that quote.
That's
That quote's been
very true.
that quote's been around since the BC times, you know, in the caveman times. It just was like the guy who created fire, he probably knew somebody that knew how to create the fire, and then there you go. You know what I mean? I don't know. But I'm just saying, my point is not to be on a fun side of it. You have to put yourself out, and there's going to be good experiences, and there's going to be not so great experiences at times. But when those unfortunate experiences may happen, being smart with yourself.
Yeah.
And having an internal system behind you to keep yourself protected and safe, and knowing your research beforehand to prevent future bad experiences there, and to try to highlight as much good experiences as you can, is the best way to kind of take this realm, because it's a brutal, horrific, at times, challenging, lonely, difficult industry. Yeah, I like to be transparent. For all the good that it comes with for it, there is a lot of difficult and challenging and, a lot of interesting experiences that can happen, both good and bad. Yeah. So, trying to be smart about it and trying to be as safe as possible with it is what's ideal. And, like, using your instincts, your regular brainiac smarts, but also using a lot of your street smarts, especially being around in sets and being around productions and knowing which is good and which is not. And a lot of it's through experiences. You have to learn it through those experiences in and there. So, and I think you hit the nail on the head on a lot of just your own personal, and I'm glad that you had more positive experiences over time, and I'm not wishing for anything unfortunate. That's the last thing I want there. But just know that, like, for all the good that comes into it, there is a realistic side to it, and you have to be smart to know both sides and knowing when something's really well and when things are not up to the standard and quality that you need it to be.
100%.
Yes. And, you kind of answered a little bit, and we're kind of getting towards the end of our These Are Questions episode. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
May I give a high five?
Got this.
Where do you want to see yourself in the next 5 years? And I know it's a loaded question.
Abercrombie, please hire me. like not the retail job, because I worked there for 4 years.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Abercrombie marketing, please call me. I've been, damn, I'm not wearing Abercrombie right now. That would have been great.
That
It's in my car. I have a full outfit that I'm wearing tonight, I think. Maybe. We'll see.
You will. Maybe. Okay, I should not have forced it. I'm sorry.
No, I'm kidding. But there's, Abercrombie has been a brand that I've loved since I was little, and I guess this is how everything starts for me. I was in a store, and I was wearing regular clothes. I was wearing like it was a black t-shirt, regular blue jean shorts, and a flannel tied around my waist. I was just walking around Abercrombie looking for clothes for myself and my mom, like, as one shops. Somebody came up to me and they're like, "Oh, I'm sorry, can you help me with this?" And I was like, because back then, like, people that worked at the store had to look like Abercrombie models. That was the not fun part about things, but that's in the past.
Besides the matter.
Exactly. So with that being said, they used to be very, like, people would always assume that the people that would work there looked like the Abercrombie models.
Mm.
Somebody came up to me, they're like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I thought you worked here. You look like one of those models that are in the front." And I'm like, stop it. I can't with myself. I'm too much.
Dramatization.
What's it called? They would, like, that, they asked me that, and I was like, I think 10 or 11 when we asked me that, and I was like, no, but thank you. I took it as a compliment. So ever since then, like, I've always, like, wanted to model, but unfortunately, since, like, I did say I was bullied, it took a lot from me, as in, like, I let it take my confidence away. So I was still acting, still doing theater, but I wasn't really, like, fighting for myself, I guess, or I wasn't really giving myself the opportunity or the chances to put myself out there, which kind of ended up not costing me, because, like, I got to learn from that, and now I'm, like, comfortable within myself, and I can finally put myself out there and not be ashamed of it. But, like, for example, I used to be ashamed of my teeth or my smile because people, like, would make fun of, like, I spoke about this, I got very lucky. I self-submitted for Good American, I think it was last year.
Okay.
And I got selected to be a finalist.
Hey!
So I flew myself to New York for the casting, and, like, I don't care that I didn't get called. Like, for me, the callbacks are a win. Like, you get called back, that means they saw something in you, they like you, you have it. Just because you don't book it, that doesn't mean that they don't like you. You got called back.
And it's the same thing. It's building that relationship.
Exactly.
Maybe you didn't get called for that specifically, or excuse me, you may not got booked for that specifically,
but you can get called for something else.
Else.
Exactly. And I think that's a very, very big important part of life as an actress and as a model. And I've had to continuously remind myself of that, because there are times where you keep getting rejections and no's, and you're like, what's wrong with me? And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just maybe the director or the creative side did not think that your visuals and your looks would match with the aesthetic, and that's fine, because maybe you'll match with something else, and that will probably be 10 times greater and better than what you expected.
Correct.
But of course, you're not going to think about that. You're going to dwell on the negative and be like, ugh, I didn't book it, or ugh, I suck. Like, it happens, and that's normal.
Yeah, totally natural, and you have to go through the gamut of emotions there, because
Exactly.
it is a rejection, and, like, you don't understand at the time, but maybe it's just like, why didn't I get this? You know what I mean? Did I do something wrong? And sometimes it's not that you didn't do anything wrong. It's just, the timing of what's going on in life. And sometimes I'll say the quote. I did not create this quote, but I'll say, I'll tell you what I did create and what I don't create, but I didn't create the quote. But the quote is, trust the timing in your life.
Exactly. No, and so with that, ever since, like, that, like, I was kind of like, I knew that, like, I had something in me that I could model, but I always was, like, ashamed of myself. And, like, in that application that I wrote for Good American, I wrote, like, a story of when I was bullied, and the reason why I never wanted to model was because when I had braces, I have teeth that are naturally a little bit more yellow than other people, because it's genetics. Like, there's nothing I can do about it. My teeth are just naturally a little bit more yellow. And I also have, like, plaque or, like, stains on mine. Again, genetic. I brush my teeth religiously. Like, I hate the fact that sometimes my brothers don't brush. Well, now they do, because they're older and, like,
Okay, I was gonna say.
But when we were little, middle school, like, sometimes, like, during the week, like, my brothers would forget to brush their teeth, like, once or twice, and then they'd go to the dentist. Perfect, clean bill of health, nothing. I'd go 5 cavities, but I'd brush my teeth religiously. So it's like, sometimes it's not you, it's genuinely genetics, and it's not your fault. So it's things that I couldn't control, but I let other people's opinions and thoughts reflect on me, and I guess I let it sink in, and I just let it take me, and I was like, I guess I am not pretty, or I guess I'm not worth it. Like, it took so much out of me, and then I ended up, because I got so lucky and blessed to be a part of experiences where people would come up to me and ask me, oh my gosh, wait, are you one of the models? Like, I don't say that to, like, have an ego boost, because I don't. Like, for me, genuinely, people did come up to me and ask me that, and, like, I don't like saying it, because then people are like, oh, you're just saying that for attention. No, like, I don't like talking about it. I don't like putting myself up in a highlight because I'd rather put up other people's in a highlight. Like, yes, I'm talented, I'm amazing. Like, talk good and positive on yourself always, but don't always do that. Like, you have to always recognize others. And like, I like being able to like acknowledge the fact that if it wasn't for like all the experiences and all the like things that I've been through, I wouldn't be here today. Like, I didn't deserve any of those things sometimes, but that doesn't mean that it didn't make me any less stronger. Like, I think all those experiences are shaping me into who I am today. And I think I'm taking all of that and I'm applying it to where I want to be in 5 years, which is I want to be a full-time model and an actress. Like, that's what I want to be able to do. I want to be able to like travel and do things and be able to book, but also be able to like, I want to be able to also share about it, because I noticed that growing up, I didn't get as much help as I wanted to doing all of these things. But I've noticed that I love to like help create and help connect people together, help network, and just help people build things. And I feel like it makes me genuinely happy to see like my friends succeed. Like, some people, I think that's a big thing that we struggle with in the industry, and I think a lot of people need is support.
Sure.
We're always pitted against each other as an actor or as a model. You're always made to hate your coworker or hate your co-star or not hate.
Hate is a strong word. I'm going to say like competitive.
Thank you. Competitive.
Yeah.
Correct. Better terminology.
Yeah.
Correct. Not hate. Hate is a very strong word, and we're taking that out.
These are hates. These are questions.
These are questions. Exactly. So competition. They put a lot of competition between you and other fellow actors or models. And that truly, I think, ruins the essence and the vibe of the whole thing, because you want to be able to support one another. You can't create a plant's not going to grow from, like, if I saw this study, like, and I think it's funny and silly, but I read about it somewhere and I thought it was crazy, but it's true. Like, there was actual facts that proved if there was like an experiment where like somebody talked like super negative to the plant like all the time, and then the other plant was talked positive to all the time, and you see the difference within a month that one plant like grew and one plant like flourished and the other one was kind of like stale and was about to die. And it's like, sometimes your words have so much power. So I think as an actor and as a model, like, sometimes we forget that it's not just about us. Like, we need to think of the bigger picture. It's not just you in this world. We're all human. We're all making not making mistakes. We're all learning to become a part of a greater sense of community. So I think we all need to be more gracious within ourselves and be more understanding, where you kind of have to like support each other and put each other in a highlight. Like, if you don't book something and we're going to the same audition, you book it, I don't, I'm not going to be upset. I'm going to actually support you and repost your things and be like, congratulations, amazing, go. Because I think a lot of that is missing in this world, and a lot of actors and I have been like, I've found like some good people that continuously like help support and help put people out there, and I think that's what we need more. And I want to be able to do that like in 5 years. Like, yes, I want to act and I model and I want to do that full time, but I also want to be able to have like a platform where I can help people like get to where they want to be, like whether it be like acting, like whatever people like need help with. Like, I want to be able to help, because so many people like want these resources, want help, and want advice and guidance, and nobody wants to give it to them because they're like, they'll figure it out. Like, no, don't say that. Like, what if you were in their shoes? Wouldn't you want to help them? Like, I try to put myself in other people's shoes and be like, you know what? Maybe I won't make it, and that's fine, because if you make it and you're happy and I'm supporting you, I will be happy and continue to support you, because sometimes things are not meant to work out and there is a reason. So why force it and push it? I think that's where I want to be in 5 years, like fully acting and modeling, but also being in a place where I can help people, because I don't want to lose myself in like the fame, I guess. Like, I want to be able to be a person. Like, I want to be a person. I'm not saying that any celebrity is not a person, because they're all human beings. They're all people.
Sure.
But more often so than not, there's some people that use their platforms and some people that don't, and they don't talk about things that other things. Like, this is like going into like specifics and spiraling into like.
No, you're good.
But
you're good.
I just think like a lot of people should be more aware of like others, and like just, I don't know, be more kind, be more gracious, be forgiving, because we're all human. Nobody's like, I feel like nobody understands that we've all like, nobody's lived life before. Like, how the heck are we supposed to know what's right and what's wrong? Like, I don't know. Obviously, there's some moral compasses,
Sure.
But like, I don't know. I think a lot of like, there's a lot of lack in that in this world, and I want to be able. I know I'm just one person, but I want to be able to help bring like life back or love back in the industry, like bring, I don't know, a sense of family and closeness, because I think we all need to feel connected and loved again. Like we all need to feel like we're a part of something, a part of a greater good. I guess that's where we could end that sentence.
Yes.
Yes. Potentially. Maybe.
I'm gonna say yes, and I will say
the lights turned off.
The lights turned off. But that's why we have the backup. See.
Thank goodness.
I learned in 7 seasons that we gotta do what we gotta do, because I learned a long time ago when.
That's been on this whole time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, because imagine it stopped working halfway.
Yes, which is fun because fun fact, your question, your answer to the question was so powerful that my audio died, and that's why we have the backup. And that's my way to cover myself because this died on me.
No, it's okay. I speak a lot sometimes. It's okay.
It's okay. We're just going to finish it off this way here. I've learned a long time ago for doing these shows that things can happen on the fly, happen live. Right? So I will say on a serious note, before we get into our final question, these are questions, I have one more question to ask you. And this has been a great interview. One, I don't know. I've learned a lot about you in today's episode. Mm-hmm. And I will say this. I'm sorry that you had to go through a lot of unfortunate circumstances past life, but now you're in this present life, and I'm very excited to see where you've gone and where you go through, because in time, your things that have happened to your past, you can't change it. It's happened, but you can work on your present in order to change your future, and you're doing that right now. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
You're very welcome, and I'm happy that you've overcame what you have overcome to be the successful and talented person that you're going to be and are currently doing right now. And the sky's the limit for you. Woot, woot. Now, on our last question here, on these are questions. The last question I want to ask you, Paloma, and I'll go back and forth on our mic because, broken audio mics. So one time I go fancy and break on there. It's fine. If you had to create a treasure map, okay, what would the treasure be, and where would you place the map to find said treasure?
Mm-hmm. Interesting question. The treasure. I'm the treasure.
But I found you.
Oh, it's like an actual, okay, dang. I was trying to be funny. Yeah, that wasn't funny.
It was an attempt.
Go back to comedy class, alums. What's it called? Treasure. I guess, the treasure's going to be an undisclosed Marvel script.
Imagine.
Oh, that's also another thing. I want to be in a Marvel movie. Marvel, please contact me. I want to be in your movies.
You heard that here, and these are questions.
And then where would I hide the map? Where would I hide it? Honestly, I'm going to hide it somewhere no one would find it. The cleaning supply closet.
Oh, because no one likes to clean.
Nope.
No.
Okay. I don't like cleaning either. So that's a lie. I have OCD moments and I go, and my room is spotless, and then there's times where it's just a bunch of clothes on the floor everywhere.
That's just the life of being an actor.
Oh my goodness. Every time I get back from a set, I hate unpacking my stuff because I have loads of extra clothes, the props, and I'm just I just throw it on. I'm like, nope, tomorrow. And then tomorrow becomes next month.
Yes. That's a fun fact. That's been currently me on this season. These are questions. My whole studio area is just filled with all kinds of props and stuff for this season.
That is why we're at Chaos Made.
We started with Chaos Made. We're ending with Chaos Made. See?
Wait, that snap was not.
And with that, we are at the end of our These Are Questions interview. Paloma, it was a pleasure learning more about you in this interview. Thank you so much for taking the time to being a part of These Are Questions. I greatly appreciate it. But now the internet/floor/internet floor thing on this table here on KS Made is yours. Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to say? Anything you want to do before we wrap up this episode? The floor/table.
Oh, the floor is mine or table is mine. Oh,
everything is yours.
Never mind.
No, it's yours.
Oh, table is mine. I guess I'll finish with advice. Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry, the mic's died. You know what I
Rawr.
mean?
Okay. So, I guess I'll end with advice or a positive note. I think I'm going to end with advice. I think that's a good thing to end with. If you are, I guess, an actor or a model and you want to get out there, put yourself out there, one thing I'm going to tell you is to, believe it or not, this is going to be so cheesy, so corny, and I don't care because we all need to do it and nobody does it. Believe in yourself. I think that's something that's been very hard lately. Like, I think we all, like, we get lost in social media. We get lost in the outside world, which is totally normal. I've done it too. We've all done it. We're all human. And I think we lose ourselves in the fact that we don't think we're good enough because we compare ourselves to said social media or to others or to people that we're pitted against each other for. So I think nowadays, more so than ever, if you want to be put in this world and you want, be put in this world, if you want to be put into like creative spaces, networking opportunities, believe in yourself and put yourself out there. Don't be nervous to be rejected, I guess. Don't be nervous to have the door slammed on your face or have people, I guess, like look at you and walk away. Like I hate going to places by myself, but I've been going lately to everything by myself because it's exposure therapy. It's meet people, try to put yourself out there, and most importantly, believe in yourself that you are good enough, you are talented enough, and don't listen to everybody else's like freaking opinions. Listen to you and your heart. I think that's number one. Like, believe in yourself, go for it, don't look back, and then honestly, be thankful for your mistakes. I also think that that's number one. The mistakes is what makes you you, and without those mistakes, you wouldn't really have your life. This is my favorite quote, and I read it somewhere, and I don't know who said it, but it says, if you were to erase all the mistakes you made in your life, all of them, you'd be erasing yourself. So think about that. The mistakes make you you. So why are you going to stop them from happening? They don't technically have to be mistakes. They just have to be experiences. It's just how you perceive and how you acknowledge it. So I guess, yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice. Believe in yourself and don't be afraid to make mistakes. That's why I'm so clumsy.
You're not clumsy here. You're not at all. Don't worry.
I broke my toe by stubbing it against the corner of my bed.
Okay, that's pretty clumsy. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty
And it happened at like 2 a.m.
Oh, even better. That's fun. Fun.
And I had just been signed to my agency.
Oh, what way to sign your agency. There you go. Celebrate by breaking your toe.
I was out for the first 3 months.
Yeah.
We're back and better, baby.
We back, baby, here on These Are Questions. Let's go.
Oh, wait, we're back. I thought
We're leaving. All right, that's our episode here on These Are Questions. It's been a pleasure, Paloma. You can watch our episode on These Are Questions on YouTube, Spotify, and anywhere you get your podcast. Whatever, that's the intro, outro. I don't know what it is anymore. But for those that are watching / listening, thank you so much for spending the time with us on this episode. There's more episodes to come, or maybe not, I don't know. But just know, exactly who knows, but just know is that you have been watching / listening to These
Are...
Go ahead.
These Are Questions. I thought we were going to say it at the same time.
Oh, we can. Let's go. These are questions.
You know, I was thinking like the iCarly type of outro. You know how they always like, you know what
I know. You know.
Okay, Freddie, take it away.
I'm not.
We don't have a Freddie.
I don't know. No. We just have a Steven and Paloma.
And the Ghost of Chaos Made Studios.
And the Ghost of Chaos Made Studios. There you go.
I've been saying that all day today.
You want to do it one more time?